Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. In today's adventure, I'm sure you can hear, we're at the coast. We're going to do something I don't do very often. I'm going to do some surf fishing here, and I'm targeting a species that I've never caught before, Spanish mackerel. They're known to get close enough to the shore where you can reach them casting from shore, but they are an open water species, so it's going to be hit or miss. They're either here or they're not. The water temperatures should be getting up there. We're here in early June, so they should be warm enough where they're getting close enough to shore. The downside to today is we had some rain showers overnight. It's early summer, thunderstorms roll through, and right now the water's looking nice and green, so hopefully we're okay. But and we're at low tide, so when the tide starts coming in, we're actually getting more water from offshore in, so instead of dirty water from all the runoff. So I'm hoping that works to our advantage, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, so I'll show you my setups here in just a moment. We'll get everything going. We're gonna have two rods, one that I'll be casting, another one that I'll have some live bait on, and hopefully maybe catch some whiting. Who knows, maybe a pompano. Never know what you can catch when you have live bait on salt water. You can catch anything, but we'll see how it goes. It's a little bit chilly, a little bit breezy, but the wind is actually coming from offshore, which might be to our advantage as well, because it might push the bait fish a little closer to the shoreline. Again, I'm not very experienced in this, so the only type of surf fishing I've ever done is just throwing a hunk of meat out there and just letting it sit. So we'll see how we do today, all right? Okay, so first order of business, get ourselves some bait for the live bait rod. I have this little thing that I bought at the Fish Expo. It's just for catching sand fleas, or back on the West Coast, you call them sand crabs. So what you do is you come up to the shoreline, and what you're doing is looking for bubbles. Where you see the bubbles coming up, kind of dig this down and just kind of scoop them up. Well, no luck on the sand fleas, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time there because the sun is just coming up. These mackerel, if they are here, they're going to come in just past those breakers over here, and I'm just going to cast my spoon. I'll show you here in just a moment, as far as I can out there, just retrieve it really fast. On the other rig, I just have a 1/4 ounce jig. I'm just going to throw it right here in this hole, so when you're reading the water, you're looking for where the waves kind of just dissipate. So you have breakers there, some breakers over there, but right in here there's a little trough. There's a little deeper water right here. I'm just gonna just chunk a jig head out there with some fish spikes and just let it sit. So here's our fish spike. I'm gonna use a shrimp scent. Stuff is really easy to use. Just take a piece, grab your scissors, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch piece, and what this does is, as it, see, it's kind of like gummy and hard right now, but as it dissipates in the water, it gives off a scent, and that attracts the fish to it. And it has like a fiber core in there, so actually one little piece will last you a long time. It's just a little bottom sweeper jig here, and this is actually 3/4 ounce, maybe a little bit light for surf fishing, but the surf here isn't really heavy. So we're just going to toss this out into this hole and let it sit there. And then a little live bait alarm here. So I'll do is I'll put this here on the rod. When the fish pulls on that, I'll have a little alarm. And then on my other rod, this is going to be doing the main part of our work here. It's just a hunk of metal. It's all, this is just a spoon. I'm going to cast it out as far as I can, just retrieve it really quickly. These Spanish mackerel, they're attractive to shining things. So I'm thinking I'm going to move to the other side. So that's the inlet side right there. So there's a channel between this jetty and that jetty. It's deeper water. Higher chances of an open fish species like a Spanish mackerel, you know, just cruising on by. So let's pack everything up, move over a couple 100 yards over there and see how we do. Oh, there's a bite, definitely a bite. I don't know if it's still on. He's on. All right, we got ourselves something. Got a little bit of weight to him. What is it? Oh, did it get off? Oh, it got off. Wasn't very big, whatever it was. Oh no, it's still on there. Oh, it's a little shark. Look at that. Little sand shark. Awesome. I love sharks. little guy, but that's okay. We get the skunk off. Pretty shark. Oh, they're so pretty. Get a few pictures of this guy, get him back in the water. You see, here you go. I mean, you see no meat on there, just a 3/4 ounce jig head with that fish bites, and that guy took it in. All right, we'll get some pictures of you, get you back in the water. Okay, buddy? Thank you for the fight. Look at those pretty eyes. Such a cool animal. They're so interesting because they're not slimy at all. They're kind of almost like fine sandpaper. Such a pretty fish. All right, okay. I know. All right, let's get him back into the water. The hook put a pretty good hole in him, but he seems to be doing okay. It didn't seem to affect his gills. That's the most delicate part on a shark. Let's get him back. All right, buddy. Oh, he's off. Yeah, he was good. He's good to go. All right, well, we got the skunk off. Not a target species, and most fishermen would not even consider that a sports fish. But hey, it's something. Just talking to that gentleman walking by there. He had a pinfish on the line. Actually makes good bait. He probably caught that to use for bait and cut it up. But I asked him if the Spanish mackerel were running. He said says he heard they are. He hasn't caught one yet. So, I mean, again, all promising. There's a little fish right there. Let's just get this hunk of metal out there. See if what we can find. All right, I'm gonna actually wade out a little bit deeper out there and get my lure out a little bit further. The water is super clear. Kind of shuffle your feet when you're walking in sandy places like this because of the stingrays. Let them get out of your way. Sit here about waist deep. A few more, a dozen more yards. Oh, there's a bite. Fish on. First cast. Is he still on? I don't know if he's still on, but that's promising. We got a bite. I can't tell if he's still on it. I don't think this is a Spanish mackerel. There's definitely a fish on there. Yep, head shakes there. Oh no, Spanish mackerel really fast. Lizard fish. Definitely not what we wanted to catch. Good. Glad he flipped off. Alright, we got a fish on. Let's see what it is. Two head shakes there. What do we got here? Lizard fish. Alright. Just talking to that gentleman right there. He said he had a couple of hookups. He was throwing a spoon. Couldn't land them though, but he told me that the Spanish are definitely getting close enough to shore, so we're just gonna keep on casting and hopefully we can get one. He was telling me around the bend here there's a red buoy out there and it's really close to deep water, which I would imagine is a channel, which makes sense. So I'm thinking spend another few minutes here and then go ahead and move over there. So that's what I'm looking for, is I need access to deep water so I can get my lure in front of a fish. Woo, these waves are definitely starting to come in short. The tide is definitely coming up. Okay, so we changed location over here. That's the red buoy. That's the channel right in there between the red and the green. That's the deep water. Tide is coming in. You can see it eddying right here. The gentleman just walked by, was telling me on the left hand side right over here is the ideal spot, but there's people fishing over there that don't want to respect their space. We can fish this eddy right here. This is a good spot to catch all kinds of different fish, so we'll see how we do, but I'm optimistic that we'll get at least one today. So I cast there, but the current is so strong my lure's already over here somewhere. Oh, there, fish on. Oh, oh my God, no. That's all right.
You ever been to fish?
No.
So you have the rods and everything you need for it.
I was telling that gentleman I've never caught a Spanish mackerel before. He was telling me about the pier to go try out, and I'll take this rod that I'm using right now. See if we can get ourselves a Spanish or two. I mean, I'll be happy with just one, but he said he caught 60 when he was there yesterday or the day before. So they're out there. He said right about high tide. High tide is gonna be in 2 hours. All right, we made it to the pier. The sun came back out. It is breezy, but that breeze is working to our advantage because it's blowing all that weather away. So we'll see how we do here. The gentleman at the said the Spanish were biting earlier this morning. I'm hoping with the high tide, they're coming in even closer. But yeah, we'll get out here, find ourselves a spot, and see what we do. So the great thing about piers is you have access to all this deeper water. Downside to a pier is I'm fishing, I don't know, 30 feet, 40 feet above the surface of the water. So as I'm retrieving my lure, I'm actually bringing it up in the water column, where normally I want to keep it down a little bit deeper. So the best you can do is keep your rod tip low and work your lure this way, but you're still drawing that lure back up. It's the only downside. Back home growing up, I used to do a lot of pier fishing, but I wasn't fishing with lures. I was just fishing with bait, cut bait mostly, or maybe live shrimp. So you just get a heavy weight, just cast it out there, just let it sit until you get a bite. All right, I re-rigged my gotcha plug. No wire leader this time, and the only reason, I just don't want to go through the trouble of tying a wire leader on. But a gentleman was standing next to me, and I was asking him how to work the gotcha plug. He was just about to explain it to me, and he got bit off by a Spanish. So they're still there, they're just deeper. So he said you got to let the plug sink a little bit. So we're gonna give that a shot. We've got about another hour and a half before we're gonna head out of here. I'm starting to figure out the action on these gotcha plugs. They kind of work like kind of walking the dog, but you're doing it underwater, not on the surface. There we go.
Get him up.
Nice, good job, man.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
Little baby cobia. That's awesome.
Thank you. All right, buddy. Okay.
Very nice. All right, just missed a bite. Definitely had a hit. That's good. That gives me a little bit more encouragement, because I was starting to get a little down. That's all right. I got another maybe half hour before I head out of here, so maybe we can get another one. There we go. There we go. Fish on. Back-to-back cast. That's my Spanish. Stay on, baby. Stay on. Hell yeah. All right. So all that was worth it. There we go. Barely nailed him. Look at that. Barely got him right on the lip. They're bloody like that because they're very active. Blood all over me now. Great. Heck yeah. All right, let's get this blood off my face and get some pictures of him getting back in the water. All right, thank you for the fight, slimy guy. Off he goes. All right, mission accomplished. That's awesome. All right, I can pack it up. I'm going home. All right, so I'm gonna head on out of here. Mission accomplished. Got my first ever Spanish, so check that off the bucket list. Learned a lot today, actually. Even though I caught it midday, it seemed everyone said the same thing. The bite's either early in the morning or in the evening. So it's good to know next time. They're definitely fun fighting fish. I would much rather catch them, you know, at sea level than elevated like this, but these piers do give you that opportunity to get out to that deeper water. You never know. Like the other guy behind me, he was able to, he had a kingfish on a gotcha plug. So you just never know when you're on deep water like this. I had a blast. So final tally today, 1 shark, 2 lizardfish, and the 1 Spanish mackerel, which is the whole point of coming out here today. Had a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed today's adventure. We'll catch you on the next fishing adventure.